on the Wado Radio Show.
Of course, man, it's DJ Wado. It's the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music, it's ministry. And man, we got a good friend, man, from the UK. New album is in stores, so it ends. S.O. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Wado, man? Always feels like I'm talking to a close relative of mine when I'm talking to you.
Hey, man, well, you know what it is, man? My twin brother produced your album, bro.
That he did, man. Yeah. Shout out to my brother GP.
Yeah, man.
Get me, just saw him yesterday. You know, I'm back in London.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you was in the UK right now, son. I thought you were still in the States.
Yeah, man. I just got back like this week. Came to do the album release here, you know, be around friends and family while that's happening.
It makes sense.
Get me celebrate with them, you get me? So
absolutely, man. How's it feel to have this project out right now, man?
And I feel relieved, bro. I feel, you know, for people who don't know, like it's taken 2.5 years to make the album.
Yeah.
And even before that, like give you a little timeline, I actually recorded my album in January this year, 2016.
Wow.
So my album was recorded in January. I came to the States February, March, a bit of April. Came back to the UK and said, cool, I'm about to mix and master my album. But the person who was meant to mix and master my album just did a Houdini on me. It disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah, out of nowhere. You know, we had paid him and everything.
Oh
yeah.
I need to call Rihanna.
Trust me, man. The album was actually going to come out in July. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, recorded it, everything, but that didn't happen. So we were unable to get a hold of this guy, and he actually had my vocals as well. So he recorded the album. It was meant to mix the album, and he had my vocals, but didn't release them. And then I went to South Africa, and I was in South Africa, and finally we got a hold of him. And so this is around like May, June.
Yeah.
And so we've been basically just sitting, waiting, and then we were able to get a mix and mastered, got my vocals from him, you know. Any discrepancy is still being handled and sorted out. So it's been a long journey to get to October 16th. And I kind of, you know, I'm grateful that it came out at this time, because a lot of the things that have been happening over the months and the relationships that I've been building wouldn't have happened if it came prematurely. You know, God's time is perfect. And I always say that, there are songs on this album that wouldn't have made this album had it came out in 2013 or 2014 when it was meant to come out before, you know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm happy about that.
One thing I've also heard you say about your music, because you put so much real life into it. I've heard you say this before to me and to other people, that, I got to live a little bit between my albums just because I'm putting myself on there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I think that's key, man. I think one of the main things for me as an artist is to not just repeat songs, repeat ideas, repeat things. It's to actually... and I think that's one of the things that people enjoy about my music, where it feels like it's talking to them in a particular situation. They know I've lived what I'm saying out. Like, it's not a fake thing when I'm rapping about something I haven't lived through. You know what I mean? They can share in my experiences with me, and by doing that, you know, they engage differently to the music. Now, what that means is you don't get music as frequently as you want, but you do get high quality music when the music does drop, which is what I always say. You know what I mean? Which is key to me. It's like I want to put out quality more than I want to put out quantity. I mean, if you start dropping 3 or 4 projects in a year, for example, which some people do, you start to lose the quality of a project, start to lose the quality of the lyrics, the melodies, the choruses, the production. And GP and I literally sit for hours thinking about these things. Like, how can we make this thing better? How can we make sure that the production is conveying the same emotion that the lyrics are conveying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, stuff like that. And it took us a long time to even get to So It Ends, mainly because we were trying to do a repeat of So It Continues. You know, that was one of the things that we had people were talking about how great So It Continues was, and we were so thankful for that. And we were like, man, we got to make one just like this. And so we had like 3 or 4 versions of The Crew.
Wow.
You know, people don't even know that, you know what I mean? Like, we had songs that didn't even make the album, you know, and stuff like that. We never did that. But we came to a point where a light bulb just went off in both of our heads. Like, yo, what are we doing? Why are we trying to recreate something that was in 2012 when we were both in 2 different situations of life?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so why not just create music that speaks directly to where we are right now? And so that's exactly what we did. And this is why you have that now.
Yeah, so let's talk about this concept behind it, man. You know, as I mentioned before, you put so much of your real life in there, and you know, that's definitely evident throughout this record, man. But for people that haven't had a chance to pick it up, or they're just picking it up, you know, and you know, figuring out, you know, what's going on, man, just break that concept down for people that So It Ends.
Well, So It Ends is part of a trilogy. So It Begins came out in 2011, and then So It Continues came out in 2012, and here we are. So It Ends in 2015. If you look at So It Begins, I was real nervy, you know, finding my feet in this genre called Christian hip hop, not really knowing where I fitted, not really knowing what I wanted to say, so on and so forth. Then So It Continues, getting a little more comfortable. I'm creating music that I think I need to create in order to sell something, you know, to sell or to be a part, to get someone to tweet my album or to do this and the third. And with this album, you know, let's just keep it a buck 50. With this album, like I'm all the way comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm all the way grown as an artist. Like, this is what I want to be known for. This is the type of music that I want to make. Singing no to the conventional rules of Christian hip hop on this project. Saying no to having an array of features, and most times features aren't organic. They're not an extension of friendship. They're business moves. You know, I'm saying no to like just a bunch of things. You got to make a song like this. You got to do this and the third. You got now everybody has to have a social injustice song. But we got to do that. And, you know, so let's keep. Am I lying away though?
Nah, you tell the truth, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. So, like, I'm saying no to those things because as an artist, like, I'm learning that, like, I don't want to just be relying on somebody else. I want the music to do the talking for the listeners, and I want the content to mean something. And I want the first thing that what people say about the album shouldn't be, oh, who's on the album. That's what I was going for. I wasn't going for, oh, let me see the track listing. It was, no, let me hear the music. You get me? Let me hear the sounds that SO's gonna bring now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let me hear what he's gonna talk about. And in terms of a theme, you know, like for 2 years, man, I was, you know, going through like a bunch of things in terms of relationships with my family, relationships with my friends, relationships with my girl, relationships with my church, you know, relationships with my relationship with the Lord as well. So I was traveling a lot more as an artist as well. So I was seeing the world, but what that meant was I was neglecting a bunch of these relationships. You get me? And a lot of fans don't see that side of artistry. They don't see the sacrifices that need to be made. I just came back from the US and I'd been gone from home for 4.5 months.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I hadn't even been in my house for 4.5 months, and I missed my sister's pregnancy, all of those things. And so, like, I'm trying to see that, cool, I wanna be an artist, but I don't wanna lose those who I love or lose what I love and become an artist, become this household name, but then my Christianity is lacking, so on and so forth. So there are a lot of songs on the album that come out of that. You get me? Come out of heartache, come out of pain, and like bring celebration as well. So,
wow, that's deep, bro. Well, how do you strike that balance, man? Because even for people that are non-artists, people that are just living their everyday life, it becomes your career. You know what I'm saying? So your career as an artist, their career might be as a banker or as a lawyer or as a pediatrician or whatever the case may be. I don't know. But that's a balance that everyone, I feel like, has to strike, man. And for you, you know, as an artist, traveling back and forth internationally, how do you make time to strike that balance and make sure you're focusing on what's really important to you?
I don't know, bro. So I think I'm still learning to strike the balance, and one of the main things I'm keeping in mind is I'm holding music with an open palm. You know what I mean? I'm realizing that this thing isn't going to last forever, and so when all is said and done, what is going to be most important to me? Is it going to be the accolades, the albums made, the albums sold, or is it going to be the fact that I can not be a stranger to those who I love? You know what I mean? Is it going to be that I abandon the church for the sake of music, which I would not advise any artist to do. I would advise artists to stay committed to their local church, stay connected with their pastors and the body of Christ, because that is what's important. What's important to me more than being an artist is being a Christian. You know what I mean? Being a Christian, being a brother, being a son, being a friend. And then, cool, I'm an artist. You know what I mean? And so even when I'm away, like, it's about being intentional with it, you know, making sure you're FaceTiming with people who are at home, making sure I'm FaceTiming once a week with my pastors, letting them know what's happening in my life, making sure like I'm talking with my family often, you know. So those type of things matter to me, and even more so connecting with believers who aren't just fans when I'm away from home. You know, so ensuring that I spend time, like, I'm very intentional, ensuring that I spend time with men and their wives and their children so that I can see how things are done and stay connected to that, ensuring that I'm talking to church leadership when I'm away as well, because the body isn't the building, you know what I mean? It's the members that make up that building. So we have thousands and millions of members all around the world. So I can connect with different people all around the world and feel like I'm at home in different contexts. So that's how I've been able to function over these years. And even more so, like, Jason and I've been talking, like, I'm trying to move to America. You know what I mean? One of the reasons why I'm trying to move to America is so that I don't have to be disconnected. So that I can stay in one place.
Yep.
And be connected to a body.
Yep.
You know?
Where would you move to in America? Would you do Philly?
I can't say. Well, I definitely won't do Philly. It's too cold.
Yo, but ain't it cold in London too?
It's not that cold, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not. We're not touching that. We're not touching that minuses. Them, like, real minuses. We're not doing that. So
you gonna try to fool with Texas, man. You going to Texas, bro? You be down there a lot.
I'm either in Texas or I'm gonna move to St. Louis.
Wow, really?
Yeah, Texas or St. Louis.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Go be close with Jay.
Yeah.
You know, like, build stuff from the label as well. You know what I mean? And, like, stuff like that. You know, go to the gate where Kenny's at, and, you know, Future. Well, old Future now, Tory Starks. You know, go part of that church.
Hey, but he was the original Future, though, man.
Was the original Future. You give him that. We give him that.
He was the original Future, man.
We give him that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, man. You get me? So
that's good, man. It's good. Man, let's talk about a couple records on the album, man. First, I wanna hit on Satisfy. And I want to hit on Satisfy because I feel like the message on that record and also on several other records on the album is not one that we actively promote in Christian rap right now. Not saying that people don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want people to think that, but people aren't really doing these types of campaigns anymore in terms of it really being just Christ centered. Like we're more concept centered, even people centered on some things. You know what I'm saying? Like selling ourselves. And I felt like this was a really refreshing song. Video was amazing, like all the other visuals you've put out. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, bro. Like just encouraging. Like you got some of the best visuals right now in the game, dude.
Shout out to Scout Sonner. You know what I mean? Struck by SO.
Yeah.
I don't know if people noticed, but the videos were telling a long narrative. From Sower Ends up to The Hunt, they were telling a long narrative. So, you look at Sower Ends at the end of it, where I grab flowers, and then you go to the drama where it's Ezekiel's narrating this beef between me and this young lady. Then it's Satisfied. She's kind of reminiscing on certain things, and then it's The Hunt, which is kind of the end of it, where we get back together. And I think for me, Satisfied actually came from I was driving in London, and the melody just came to my head, like only Christ can truly satisfy. I was like, boom, this is gonna be it, and like to me, it's actually quite disheartening to hear you say that it's not something that's actively promoted in Christian hip hop right now, because like that should be what we should be promoting. And I think a lot of people, myself Kent included, can fall into this trap. But we can talk a lot about the problems that are happening in society, happening in life, but we rarely talk about the solution, which is namely Jesus. And I was having a conversation with someone last week, and I was like, bro, that's what Christianity is. You know what I mean? Like Christianity analyzes the problems and say, yes, the problem is sin. We got this, we got that, social injustice, black on black crime, all of these things, police brutality. What is the solution? You know what I mean? The solution is Jesus Christ. The solution is the gospel. And for me, like I wrote that song from a personal perspective, from a personal place, because like I was in a relationship with a young lady, and we broke up. I was disheartened and discouraged, but then I realized that, fam, like, where am I looking for my joy? Where am I looking for my satisfaction?
Wow.
Is it in this woman? Is it in music as an artist? Is it in money? Is it in security of having a house, a car, so on and so forth? But no, my satisfaction should come through Jesus. You know what I mean? Which is where that song came from. You know, like that's the context in which that song came from. So I've been encouraged, a lot by the response towards that song. You know what I mean? It reminds me a lot of like when Sure Thing came out.
Yep.
I mean, like when I've got a Sure Thing in Christ, like these Christ-centered songs, but still banging though, so.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer, man, that that it's very possible to make super Christ-centered music and not sacrifice the artistic nature of it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And I think there was a time where we were a little bit, like the music wasn't as good as it probably could have been because we were so focused on the message. But I think, like, I look at artists like yourself. I think when you get to a certain place where you're really grounded in the word, like the word just comes out of you. It just oozes out of you. Like you can't, it's like Jeremiah, man, it's just shot up. You can't not, like the apostle said, they can't not speak about the things that they've seen, even when the Roman government and the Jewish leaders were trying to tell them not to. They can't help it.
Absolutely, bro. And that's exactly where I'm at, bro. Like who am I to not boast about the Lord or not write about things? So my music is life and doctrine. Like I would call my music an evolution of lyrical theology. Right? Yeah. That's what I would say it is. It's an evolution of what lyrical theology was. If Shy is, this is what the doctrines of grace are, this is what the sovereignty of God is. My music is, okay, how does the sovereignty of God relate to you when your dad's dead?
It's good.
How does the holiness of God relate to you when that girl is looking real fine? you get a passion and purity, like so on and so forth. I can make those parallels all day, but that's what I feel like my music is. It's what Paul told Timothy, to what's your life and doctrine. Like my audience want to know how to respond in certain situations. You know what I mean? How to apply that theology that they've learned, and that's where my music is. You know what I mean? So
it's funny, man. Whenever I hear, I've heard people. I shouldn't say whenever I hear, but I've heard a lot of people describe your music as a bit emotional. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because you put your feelings and stuff in it. And I've always, like, to me, that's dope, but I've always found that to be almost countercultural, because we it's like we almost make fun of people because we'll say, oh man, he's in his feelings. He feel a certain type of way. You feel some type of way about this. Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, yo, everybody has feelings. And I'm like, just the ability to convey that emotion, put that on music and keep it biblical, like that's a special talent to me.
Praise God, brother. And I think it's so weird because in my music, I am super vulnerable and super open. I think one of the main reasons is because of what I've been through in life. So I think my musical mission is to comfort those who have been afflicted with the comfort that I've received from God. Like that's my musical mission. If some people have, which everybody has, if everybody's gone through things in life, hopefully by the grace of God, my song can speak directly to them. And I was having a conversation with someone, and I said my music, and some people might shoot me down for this. I say my music is somewhat prophetic, not in the sense that it's telling a futuristic tale of what's going to happen to you, but it's speaking direct truth to your situation. And I've never met you. I don't know your name. I don't know what situation you're going through. It just happens to be that God is using my music and my situations that he's comforted me in to speak directly to you. Like I've had people have heard this album and they told me, I wept when I heard Give It to God. Or I related to everything you were saying on where do we go from here.
Yeah.
Or like, I understand what you mean when you're talking about weight, like, and stuff like that. And like, bro, I'm just writing a song for me and my friends. Be like, me and my homies, like, and it just happens that the world is paying attention, so like, I'm thankful to God that I'm able to create that. And I think that is unique, in what's happening. And I don't ever want to stop creating music like that, because I know, one, that's the type of music that lasts a long time. Like, we're still playing Bob Marley now.
Yeah.
Because he was emotional.
Yeah.
Because he was speaking about things. You know what I mean? Like, we're still playing certain MJ songs because he was emotional. You know what I mean? So I want to, GP and I particularly, like, we want to create timeless music. Not just music for the here and now, you vibes to it. We love that, but we also want to make music that's timeless,
Sure. Another record I want to talk about, man, London Dreams, brother.
Yes, my G. Yeah. My song right there.
That's your favorite on the record?
That's one of my favorites.
One of your favorites? Why you enjoy that so much, man?
Well, for one, like, I was reflecting with one of my friends, Obed, who's now an itinerant, like a residential pastor in LA, and we were just talking about like where we've come from. Like, bro, I was born in Nigeria, lived there till I was 9, moved to London. We weren't as wealthy as the next person, but we didn't even know it, bro. Like, I was telling my girl, like, we eat certain foods and that's a poor man's meal, but we don't even know that we're eating that.
Wow.
We didn't even know that, like growing up in certain things, like growing up in certain environments, like living in council estates in a council flat, like chilling with my friends playing football, like, not American football, but soccer, playing that. And then coming to where I live now, my dad passing away, then going to like just reflecting on everything that's happened in my life, to think that at 26 I'll be doing music for a living and telling people about my Savior. I said, that's weird. That can only be God.
Yeah.
No one else, because I couldn't have written this script.
Yeah.
You know, because when my dad listened, true story, like when my dad passed away, everybody thought that we were finished. I mean, because he was the backbone. You know, like he was the backbone of the whole family. Me, my mom, my two sisters. Like, what's going to happen to them?
That's crazy. So they thought y'all was just done out here. Like
done.
That was it.
So we was done. Like, this is it. Like, they're not gonna be able to do nothing. You know. After that, a year later, I go to school for theology. You know what I mean, one of the best schools in the country. For 3 years, come out 2010, release 5 Solas because of Dwayne Triumph. Because he tells me that people want to hear more music from me.
Man, praise God for Dwayne Triumph, man.
Praise God for Dwayne Triumph. You get me? 2011, I released So It Begins. That gets accepted, you know, by my fans. And then 2012, and then here, brother, I'm like, who am I to say that I can literally right now go to Durban in South Africa and they know my music.
Wow.
I can go to Kaduna in Nigeria where there's no proper electricity consistently and they know my music.
Wow.
I'm living out my London dreams. That's what that means.
Yeah.
That's what that song means. You know what I mean? That song should be a motivation to anybody who has a passion and they want to pursue it.
Yep.
You know, like, and they like, you know, me and you were talking one time, and when the So It Ends video came out, GP sent me a voice message, like telling me, like, bro, like, look at how far you've taken my music. No, bro, nobody ever was imagining that I would be in this position right now. 3rd album. People don't, I tell you, in the UK, people don't make 3 albums.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a short list. I'm trying to think of,
bro.
I'm trying to think, I'm just being 100. I'm trying to think of another Christian rapper that, from the UK, that has 3 albums.
Yeah.
Particularly with this type of distribution. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe how many Faith Child got?
Faith Child's got 2 albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bro, I have 3. People don't understand what that means.
Yeah, that's significant, man.
To come from a small island. England is small, bro.
Yeah.
It's not America. You can do England in 7 hours. Boom. 10 hours, maybe. Driving top to bottom.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So you look at things like that, like, of course I'm living out my London dreams, and I ain't even near where I want to be, you know. And anything good I've received, I'm living it out. I'm giving it all back to God. You get me? So that's what that song is about.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. The thing I'm encouraged, bro, is like you persevere through the difficult times. I mean, thankfully, I'm grateful for your music because you know you let us in on that, so we know the stuff. By the time it hits the music, you've been through it. You've gone through it. You know what I'm saying? But you've persevered through that. A lot of people, man, things happen. They have setbacks. They give up. You know what I'm saying? And you haven't done that. And I think the Lord has continued to reward you for that, bro. Yeah,
man. Praise God. And music is therapeutic as well, though. You know what I mean? And write these things and express these things. They get stuff off my chest as well, you know. So part of it is just getting things off my chest and things like that.
Yeah. So this So It trilogy, right?
Yeah.
So It Begins, So It Continues, So It Ends. Are you going to start another series next? Or what do you?
I don't know if I'm starting another series. Yeah, I don't. So to keep it 100, even the So It series wasn't intended to be a series. It wasn't even meant to be a series. But, you know, shout out to Timothy Brindle, who at the end of So It Begins says, So It Continues. And so that just kind of sparked off an idea.
Yeah.
You know, so I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna, me and GP are already talking about going into the studio this weekend, and going to create music. I really want to write for other people because people don't know that I write everything.
Yeah, I do.
You do. Every song, every melody, every chorus lyric, every Brit, like that's me writing it.
Yeah.
For people, you know what I mean? So I really want to get in the mix of writing for other people and just, shopping song ideas to artists and stuff like that. So because I just want to get out of my own ideas for a second and get into the space of someone else and be like, hey man, I got this song for you that I think will really work. And, GP and I are really good. People don't know as well, like GP is a great songwriter. Like he wrote a whole worship song for Jay.
Wow.
Like he wrote the Mercy on Me chorus for Shoba Raka.
Okay.
He wrote memoirs on So It Continues. Like people don't know, like GP can get that pen when he needs to, you know what I mean? So like I'm just hoping that, with both of our minds colliding in a positive way, we can write some stuff. But I'm ready to work on new music so much, it's unbelievable. And so is G actually. Like he's good to go. I'm already thinking about a possible EP or album that will come out next year. I can't give too much away.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm already thinking about that. Like 6-7 songs, boom, like give it to the people. Because even though the album's coming out now, like the content is a few years old in terms of like what I've been going through. So I have new things to talk about, new issues to write on and discuss. It's the state of Christian hip hop. I want to, be a voice in that, the state of, the black community in London. A lot of people don't, like some Americans don't even know there are black people in England, bro.
They just think it's you, Jahaziel, and
they just think it's the Queen. They think it's the Queen, and they think all we do is just sip tea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And eat crumpets. But they don't know that there's police brutality over here. They don't know, like, the London riots were the reason why the London riots happened was because police killed an unarmed black man. You know what I mean? Shut down the whole country, not just a city, the whole country.
Whole country shut down.
Yeah, people don't know that. You know what I mean? So, like, I want to be writing about, like, those experiences, what it's like to be a black man in a country that's run by, white people. Like, I want to know, I want to write stuff like that. I want to write what it's like to even be a black man in the church, you know what I mean? And in some of these things. And,
well, yeah, I was going to say, especially in the evangelical circles, bro, like that's, like I just think that we need as much content on that as possible because in a lot of church circles, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of issues that African Americans have that aren't always made vocal for a lot of different reasons. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, I got plenty of ideas, bro. Wait on it.
Yeah, man. That's good, bro. That's amazing. That's really good, bro. Yeah, man. I again, man. I can't say this enough, bro. Like, I feel like what you're doing on this record on So It Ends is just a breath of fresh air, and I think we need diversity right now, just in the scene, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, just even the sound of it, it's not a turn up record, even the content of it, very Christ centered, and like, it's weird to say, but it's almost like you got your own little niche with that right now, bro.
Hey, brother. Listen, amen.
Like maybe you, Eshon Burgundy, Jay Givens, you know what I mean? Just,
Yeah, definitely, man. So one thing that I really learned, if you hear the album, like, there are definitely high energy songs on there. They're high energy songs mixed with emotional content.
Yep.
So you look at like a Me, or Where Do We Go From Here? Even like a Wait. Could be something like that. Like, you could still perform those at concerts.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. But what I'm saying is turn up. I'm saying trap. That's what I'm thinking.
You think? Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? So like, which is cool. Like, I'll do a trap song, but no, it won't fit my album. You know what I mean? It won't fit who I am as a person and stuff. And we tried to make a trap song. That's the thing about it. We tried, but
I would love to hear that.
This thing ain't fitting the album, bro. So, so we just did it. We even put it out. It was like, it's cool. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I learned as well, even like growing in my artistry, like doing shows and performing. It's like cool. Like I see all these guys, doing these events and stuff like that. And I was able to do events with them. I'm like, man, like cool. How can I stay true to me, but still give high energy performances? You know what I mean? And I think I've struck a balance, on this album as well.
Yeah, that's good, bro. That's good, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy for you, man. I'm happy for you, brother. Because this has been a journey. I didn't even know all this stuff with the mixing and mastering, bro. Like,
bro, welcome to my world, bro. What the truth say? Welcome to our world. Welcome to my world.
You throwing it back? It's a throwback.
Welcome to my world. And it was, you would think something like that would discourage me, and to a certain extent it did. But like man, it's so funny when you write music, and then God just uses those songs to either remind you, challenge you, or comfort you. You know what I mean? To practice what you preach. And that's exactly what happened. Like, so the guy basically, we didn't get the money back and couldn't get the vocals, none of that stuff. So what you gonna do? Wow. I have a song on my album called Give It to God, which is a song about prayer. You know what I mean? So go to the Lord in prayer. And all things, pray without ceasing. That's what Paul says. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So like when just last week, when everything was going great, we were like getting like a bunch of things. My laptop broke, hard drive gone, my phone broke, screen gone, all in a space of a day.
Wow.
I said, bruh, okay, what does this mean? Only Christ can truly satisfy. That's literally what came into my head. I'm like, why are you doing this to me? Like,
making sure you living what you rapping about,
making
brother.
Sure that's it. I'm rapping about, and like I'm literally a walking testimony of my music. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So
that's man. That's good, brother. Lampmode.com. That's the website. SoItEnds.com. I know that's the website specifically for the project.
Go to SoItEnds.com. You can get everything, man. That's gonna be my new hub where I put all my stuff at, like my merch, my music. I'm gonna be posting some music on SoundCloud, some visuals as well. Go get the album on iTunes. Go buy it and then stream it. That's what I'm saying to people. Go buy it and then stream it. So I've been encouraged, bro. Like if I can be honest, especially because of the state of Christian hip hop right now, you would actually think that nobody wants to hear music that's Christ-centered. But the response of my project have shown me otherwise. That there are still people out there who actually want to hear Jesus in their music. Not corny, not sonically unimportant and lacking in aesthetic value, but still good music that reminds people of who Jesus is and what they've done for him. There are people out there who still want that. And I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean?
Good, bro. That's so, man. Appreciate you, my G.
Appreciate you too, man.
You know what it is.
Thanks for this.
Absolutely.
On the Wade Radio Show. On the Wade Radio. On the Wade Radio Show. Where it's much more than music, it's ministry.